Are you tired of that annoying snare drum buzz from the snares ruining your groove? Stick around, because in this video I'm going to show you how to tame snare drum buzz once and for all, with simple effective tips that will have your snare sounding crisp and clean in no time. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, snare drum buzz can be one of the most frustrating issues for drummers just getting started. Whether it's a nearby tom ringing out or a booming bass speaker causing chaos, that unwanted buzz can take the fun out of playing. But don't worry, today we're diving into some practical solutions to control snare drum buzz while still keeping that snare's unique character alive. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to manage snare drum buzz in any situation. First, let's talk about tuning. I tune my snare top head really tight to get that crisp, sharp sound. Then I might detune it slightly to add some depth while keeping that tightness intact. This can change from room to room. And the bottom head. I tune it as high as possible. This tight tension reduces vibrations, which means less buzz overall. Or at least that's been my experience. Next, focus on the lugs closest to the snare wires. Tighten the 4 lugs near where the snare wires are attached. This helps stabilize the wires and minimizes excess buzz. If there's still an issue, I'll add a small piece of gaffer tape to the batter head to control overtones. And as always, keep the room in mind. Soft furnishings like carpets and curtains can make a big difference in how your drum reacts. Buzz isn't just about your snare. It's also about its surroundings. A nearby tom or speaker is often the culprit. Avoid setting up your snare directly in front of a bass speaker. Instead, position it parallel to the speaker, or move the offending tom slightly to stop it from resonating. And of course, as suggested, you can also tune the snare drum buzz away by tuning the surrounding toms to be less resonant. In my early days, I even experimented with adding a bit of gaffer tape directly to the snare wires themselves. It worked, but wasn't ideal long term. As my tuning improved and I used better quality heads, snare buzz became less of an issue. Finally, let's talk about mic placement. If you're being mic'd up, consider using overhead mics instead of mics below the snare drum. This can significantly reduce the buzz that gets picked up in recordings or live sound setups. Remember, a little buzz is part of what makes a snare drum unique. The goal isn't to eliminate it entirely, but to control it so that it doesn't overpower your sound. And although we haven't mentioned it, the snare wires themselves can be tightened up or slackened off to produce less buzz. Having the snare wires set reasonably tight, I tend to believe that tuning the drums well usually eliminates most of the buzz. But some cannot be removed based on the room and the instruments around the snare drum. This is why I chose to tackle the environmental factors rather than blaming the snare wire tension for everything. This video and the ideas I mention presume that you have the snare wires are reasonably tight, so we are really eliminating the cause and not tending so much to the effect. Now you've got everything you need to tame snare drum buzz and take control of your sound. What about your bass drum? If you're looking to unlock that low booming bass drum sound, click the video on your screen now and I'll show you the secrets to achieving that punchy, powerful tone. See you there.